I would say the hard truth that most people don't want to hear is that it's gonna hurt more lives than it helps if your expectations aren't managed correctly.
Welcome back to Early Retirement, the high school hoops coaching podcast. Today's episode is special for me. I've got somebody who's been a huge presence in the world of grassroots basketball, and honestly, someone who's made a real impact on how I see this game and the business behind it. I'm talking about Terrance Munch Williams, the executive director of the Pro Scholar Athletics Cardinals EYBL program, a mentor to hundreds of players and coaches, and one of the most respected voices in youth basketball. Munch has just released his second book titled Here Are the Answers, a roadmap for navigating success in the business of youth basketball. And I wanted to have him on here because our connection goes back a few years. We first crossed paths in the 2020-2021 year through a good friend of mine, shout out to Aljamain Durham, when I was coaching a player who had started to get national recognition. Even though that player wasn't going to join the PSA organization, Munch still took my calls, gave me advice on how to help the young man handle himself, and even offered me guidance when my own son started playing basketball at the high school level. That's just who he is, someone who gives without expecting anything back. His first book, Our PSA, a public service announcement on mastering your personal evolution, was so powerful that I made sure every player in my high school program got a copy. So today, I want to return that energy and give Munch the space to share his story, promote his new book, and drop some wisdom for all of us trying to do right by these kids. Let's get into it.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Please believe it or not, I'm still a cream of the crop. I was just until the age of 18 on the charts. Wasn't even dreaming this far. Believe who you are, the sun doesn't even know it's a star.
Do you remember back when we first connected back in 2020?
For me, I probably was trying to recruit a kid. He was running around in that green. I think it was Malachi Palmer, man.
Yeah,
Right?
it was.
Amongst other things, man. But the blessing of it was, even though we didn't get Malachi Palmer to be a part of us, he is crazy because he's at Villanova with Matt Hodge right now, right? So God has his way of connecting youth
Yeah,
and connecting adults. So
yeah.
I'll take this relationship over Landon, no disrespect, or over Landon Malachi Palmer. This will last a lot longer. And it's more fruitful, and it's just a blessing. So yeah, man. I mean, I think connectivity is one of the most important things that everybody can have, and networking, and we're having a good time with our relationship. So shout out to Malachi Palmer at Villanova, and
That's right.
thank God that we continued on.
That's right. So back then, right? What do you think stood out to you about like just grassroots basketball back then?
Yeah, man. I think the biggest thing in that timeline, I feel like people still love what we were doing, and doing it like to get to college, right? Like the main carrot was, hey, how many of these different young men, especially black young men, brown skin, getting them to school. It wasn't so much business in the forefront. I think it was probably more so in the back end. But I think the college landscape and the grassroots space was connected. It was kind of like a straight line that, hey, this we can use the sport to get kids out of poor environments, and a lot of times just making sure that kids get an education. And I think the graduation rate was more important then than it seems to be right now.
Yeah.
So I miss those days.
Yeah. I mean, things have changed a little bit over the past few years. You've always been one of those people who gives advice, who mentors, whether it's a top ranked player or a coach like me trying to do things the right way. What keeps you motivated to pour into people like that?
Yeah, man, you gotta stay humble, man. Like, I come from humble beginnings, to say the least. I've had phenomenal mentors. I've been able to be blessed with people giving to me, and giving up their time and their knowledge and their wisdom. My mentors aren't necessarily basketball people.
Mm-hmm.
They're just really good, phenomenal humans. And I think as I sit back and reflect on how my journey has gone, it's been a lot of hands that's been reaching down to grab me and walk me through this journey and try to limit the mistakes that I make. And even when I did fall short on certain spaces, those people were giving love and giving grace. So a big thing for me is always going to be, and has been, trying to do the same for the next generation, and not even just the kids,
Mm-hmm.
more so the adults also. Like, I want to be someone that doesn't mind giving. And I tell the guys all the time, always be a giver, right? And the most precious thing you can give is your time.
Yeah.
So we're trying to showcase that, and when you run in a big organization like this, there's a lot of people that need help. And
Yeah.
if you have the resources, the knowledge, and different space, you want to give. And the one thing about this world, you might think you're on the top one day, and you know there's ways of humbling you and put you back to ground zero. I can remember being homeless multiple times, but one of those times I used to really get at my dad about not giving to the homeless when we're like on the subway or in different spaces. I really didn't understand why he wasn't giving financially to those that were struggling.
Hmm.
And it really used to upset me. And then humble times came. We had a fire at my grandma's house, living in the downstairs in the basement. And just like that, we were homeless. And no matter
Yeah.
what your financial stability was, or your career or your profession, at that point in time, I always thought like, wow, this is God humbling my dad. And I took that moment to say, all right, make sure that you don't be like that. And when you can help, you know.
All right, let's jump into the book. Here are the answers. I love the title. It feels bold but intentional. What are the answers you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I think for the book, man, I want it to be some level of and please don't misunderstand what I'm saying, some level of a Bible,
Hmm.
some level of like I said, a roadmap. Just trying to, for me, it's about leaving behind the answers to these quizzes and tests you go through in this space. I also think it's something for people that's not in the space,
Hmm.
that comment about the space, but don't live it every day. So if you don't literally understand what's going on left and right, this is a chance for you to see like there's way more going on in this space than just the hey, I'm watching kids play basketball. Like if you show up to a tournament or an event and you watch these guys run up and down for the weekend, you're commenting on the basketball. But in this space, there's so much more going on that for me, I just want to be able to say, okay, this is more than what you think is going on. And then for the people that's coming behind, I want to just say, look, man, as you get into this space, think about these subject bases, think about these topics, think about this journey that you're about to walk with these kids and their families. Because for me, it wasn't a ton of people reaching back to say, hey, be careful with these pitfalls. Just simple stuff like how do you sign up for an event. I remember in the beginning, we kind of was in the, I think for nationals, you sign up for like A division versus B division, and I had no clue. We signed up for the B division. We running through everybody, and I'm thinking we good, and we just in the wrong division. You know what I mean? So I think the answers are something that I went through to say this is how we handled it, right? Our program, the people we came across, these are the lessons we learned, and here's something to kind of like help your learning curve. I think in every field that's major, there's literature that's out there to say, hey, go read this book first, right?
Hmm.
And I hope that this book becomes that for grassroots basketball, high school basketball. I remember when I first started teaching, they would this is the book you got to read. So if you're in grad school, they're like you got to read this. So anybody that's looking for help, looking for knowledge, looking to get better in the space, I just try to give you my take on a lot of these subject base. And I think that this book can become that. Like this is
Yeah.
the book you need to pick up when you decide to be in this arena.
You've been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
What made you want to write this now?
Yeah, man. I mean, I think Father Time, I kind of, as I'm going through it, I'm not getting younger. And people kept asking questions. How do you deal with reclassing? How do you get a sneaker deal? How do you deal with parents? People would see me and come up to me, or just like how we started, like, hey, give me advice on this, give me advice on that. So you were kind of like just giving out free consulting.
Mm,
To the best of your knowledge, this is my opinion. It's not fact, right?
right.
So I think so many people over the years, whether there's other grassroots directors, whether there's other coaches, whether they're high school coaches, there's so much going on that a lot of people would come up to me and just ask me these questions or call me. Parents would be like, hey, I'm going through this with my kid. What do you think of this? What do you think of that? And I'm like, you know what? I can't reach all these people, and I'm not trying to be someone on the phone all day long.
Right.
So if I create, after the first book, I felt confident enough to be like, I could actually write the information in here
Mm,
and give it to them. And then, I was like, all right, well, from a business standpoint, you write the book, you can start some consulting and have people say, okay, guest speaking arrangements. And I was looking for new challenges also in the space for myself. So being able to do these interviews, being able to get out and do guest speaking appearances in different places, I thought it would speed up the information being disseminated across people, right? So yeah, I just part of it was just tired of people just asking me all these random questions. And I
Yeah.
was like, hey, if you read, but you got to get people to read first.
That is true. And speaking of reading, is there a chapter or a story in the book that really captures what you want people to walk away with?
Yeah, man, I think my favorite entry is entry 51. It's the art of saying thank you, right?
Yes.
And I think people overlook that process, and when someone does something for you, or someone looks out for you, or just anything you do, just say thank you. Like we used to joke about it, like with parents and families and just people you're trying to help, like that concept of, can we just say thank you, and teaching the youth that. And I want to be great at that. People do stuff for you that you think is minute. My joke with some of my friends about, like, the concept of whatever you asking for at that moment, it was everything when you needed it,
Yeah.
right? Everything for that moment. And maybe you're the one person in the world that could have got that done for that person. Just say thank you. And I think we overlook that process a lot of saying thank you, right? And there's a lot going on in the book, but for me, one of the funniest entries, but it's also the most realist entry of, like, simple but very complicated for people to do.
I definitely appreciated that. I have all of these tabs I had to take off the book before I showed it because I tabbed a lot of stuff. But that was definitely one of the entries that I like
Yeah.
too. Going back though, in your first book, Our PSA,
Yeah.
it was about mastering your personal evolution. How does this one build on that message or take it to another level?
Yeah, man, I'm chasing greatness. I'm chasing being the most balanced human I could be. I'm trying to manage my time really, really wisely. I'm growing. I'm trying to meditate. I'm trying to pray a lot. I'm trying to get closer to God. I'm trying to do the most with my 24 hours. I'm also trying to leave trauma in the back, and in the back of my life, and teach others and myself how to just be the best version of yourself. So I think learning from the mistakes that I've made in the past, coming up, learning from those that are around me, my siblings, and the journeys that we've been through, and also acknowledging and celebrating the struggle. Right, I watched my mom go from single parent, 4 kids, welfare, to her being able to say, "Hey, I want you to save this money that's mine and be able to give it to your siblings when I'm gone." To watch the whole journey come full circle, but also to learn your day-to-day hustle and your drive and your passion comes from that dirt in the concrete, like that
Yeah.
rose in the concrete, like Pac said. To be able to learn from my mom and my siblings, and also be smart enough to understand how they paved the way for me. So you get a lot of reflection, man.
You said meditation. You speaking my language, man. I've been doing it every day for the better part of the past 8 years. And so anytime you talk about doing some things that'll connect you to this purpose, you speaking my language. So appreciate you saying that.
No doubt.
You've been in this game for a while.
Mhm.
You talk about the business of youth basketball. What do you think people misunderstand the most?
I think the biggest thing they misunderstand is your off the court is more important than your on the court. I
Yeah.
feel like they believe that, hey, I'm so talented at this game that it doesn't matter my nutrition, it doesn't matter my belief in God, it doesn't matter, just my education, all of these things that make a human. They want to overlook it. And I think the system at times used to overlook it, but they don't no more, right? Like, they're
Mhm.
looking for, the cleaner kid, cleaner family, less drama. You obviously see the wave of overseas international basketball coming over now. That's the new phenomenon in a sense. But I do think people definitely think they're on the court can supersede the off the court, and it's not true. I
Yeah.
think those who make it, especially long term,
Yeah.
like, you give enough time, the ones who on the court, their off the court structure is on point. They have a way bigger probability of making it to whatever making it means to them, especially NBA, and to be a professional
Yeah.
with the game. So that's the one thing I see long term. If your off the court is on point, you
Yeah.
got a way better chance than you're on the court. You can fix a jumper. You cannot fix the kid that wants to smoke and drink, and and don't want to go to class, and you could fix that ball handling, But yeah, long term, court got to be on point.
So there's been so much change in the EYBL, NIL deal, social media era. From your perspective, how has the grassroots landscape evolved over the last few years?
I would say, man, it's still basketball, but the money is at the forefront now. I think that it's such a business now
Mm.
that if you think about a play and you see the curtains, the act used to take place when the curtains open. And it used to be a lot going on when people would just assume, right? But now, because it's legal and the money's out in the forefront, it's such a business driven entity that the play is in the front of the curtains now. You don't have to worry about what's in behind the curtains. Like everything is happening and it looks like a Broadway play. Like if you look at the visual, those who go to the Broadway play, 9 times out of 10, financially stable humans.
Yeah,
And that's what's going on to this day. Everybody's kind of like puppeteering the space, but there's no more hiding that the numbers and the money and entity of finances are in the forefront, right? Like your financial literacy needs to be more important than your pull-up jumper. So I think that's the change, right? It's not hidden anymore.
got you, got you. Uh, a lot of parents are listening to this, right? If you could give one piece of advice to parents trying to navigate this space, what would it be?
The best advice I would give someone is two pieces.
Okay.
Take out the emotions and do everything from a long-term perspective. So understand what your end goal is, and then as you walk in this journey, don't allow certain things to make you have knee-jerk reactions. Because if you understand your end goal, you're doing things from a long-term perspective, which will keep you a lot calmer. Where you're like, oh, that's just that small thing. My son didn't play in the seventh grade. At the end of the game, who cares? Still
Yeah.
can get to Harvard. So if you function from a long-term perspective and you work backwards, it'll allow you to make decisions that are a little bit calmer, a little more educated, and don't try not to have knee-jerk reactions. And then in collaboration with that is don't play God. Don't don't think that whatever you got going on isn't playing through him. And even the good and the bad, you have to walk that walk to get to whatever you're trying to get to. That's the best advice I could give them. And eliminate emotions as best you can. Let's stay locked in, key.
Parents, take heed to that long-term perspective. I
Yep.
got another one for you. What's one hard truth about youth basketball that people might not want to hear but need to?
Great question. I would say the hard truth that most people don't want to hear
Mm-hmm.
is that it's gonna hurt more lives than it helps if your expectations aren't managed correctly. And I want you to go to a long term perspective,
Okay.
right? Let's just look at the best scenarios is people getting NIL money.
Mm-hmm.
You make it, somebody give you 500,000 to go to said university, and you're happy. But then 6 months removed from that, you get to the University of X, and your kid is playing 10 minutes a game. Now he's full of depression, anxiety. He's full of unhappiness day to day. The money is being spent at a rapid rate, obviously. Who cares? But the pain in which that young man has to walk every day. He's frustrated with going to class. He's frustrated with his playing time. It's going to lead to, hey, I'm shifting over here to the women. I'm shifting over here to the drugs to numb my pain. I'm shifting to the alcohol. I'm not in love with the game anymore because I've already captured the carrot of the finances. I'm not trying to work on my craft anymore because coach is not playing me. So there's probably more scenarios that create unhappiness in the game than create happiness if you don't manage you. Like if you find parents who are like, hey, I just want to go to Columbia or I just want to go to the Ivy League, at times they're more content at the game doing for them than the ones who like, hey, I need everything to go perfect. And it's just not possible. So I've seen the game sometimes do more harm, especially long term for adults. Right? If you're trained to get away with things because you're a high major kid and people let you get away with all these cutting corners, Eventually, as an adult, it's gonna catch you. So it's sad, but that is a hard truth to me that the game can hurt more than help if you're not managing your expectations correctly. And people tend to move the goalposts further and further and further from, I mean, we all lived it, right? I just want to go Division 1, go to school for free. Then it's like, no, 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 no. I got to go to a certain university, and I got certain weather and certain coaching and all these different acclimates. So it becomes a difficult space. But I've seen it tear some families apart. So sadly to tell you, the hard truth might just be it's going to hurt more lives than it helps if your expectations aren't managed correctly.
It sounds like if your foundation is good and everything is going according to plan without the corner cutting, then when those challenges arise, things can work out.
Yeah, you gotta be more prepared. I mean, expect things not to go perfect,
Okay.
100%. But your roots got to be strong.
Roots got to be strong. The one thing I've always respected about PSA and your approach is the emphasis on leadership and character. What
Yeah,
are the core principles you try to instill in the players that come through your program?
yeah, man. I mean, we trying to find people to be selfless to the best way they can, and we're trying to be of that example, right? To be selfless, to care about others, and we also want guys to like the desire to grow as people. Like I'm searching for a bunch of guys now that are into things outside of the sport of basketball. We've had the kid Amari Spellman be into poetry. We've had Jaden be into chess. We've had guys be into music. We've had Naja Hunter be into photography. Like I think that's so dope to have guys be about others, and you can tell from their social media, right? Are you cool with retweeting other teammates? Are you cool with posting their stuff? You can't your social shouldn't just be all about you, in my opinion, right? But then how comfortable are you as a young man to say, hey, I enjoy reading, I enjoy playing the piano, I enjoy going to plays? And how do we as a program create an environment that nurtures that and makes it acceptable and create space within given time frames for you to do that? Like it's so dope to watch a kid come on the road with a camera
Yeah.
and it's like, what are you doing, man? Taking pictures. And then see that those pictures be in a museum one day, right? Like since I wrote the first book, it's probably been 3 to 4 different PSA young men write a book after me, right?
Wow.
And to see that, right? And I think the basketball is cool, but we've of the age now where we're trying to be like, yo, young fella, it's okay if you want to read that Harry Potter. It's okay if you want to write your poetry on the flight. It's okay if you want to, try to, read a different book. Whatever it is that you want to be a holistic human being. That's what we're trying to get to. Where it's like we doing a little bit of basketball over here, but you could be unique around here. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yes.
find yourself. Like
Yes.
dare to be different.
When I was coaching high school, that was the thing. These people are whole human beings. And again, speaking my language because it is so important. Basketball is a part of what they do, but it's not completely who they are. And so I'm glad to hear that even at the highest levels of grassroots basketball, that's being showcased and being supported. I appreciate you for that.
Yeah, man, and you got to have a bunch of men that's willing to do the same thing. Like our guy Dre is doing financial literacy classes on the road. Justin's teaching them dudes about buying a car or banking, or we're giving them dudes meditation time. We're giving those guys time to be of themselves, and we're trying to mimic that as adults. We're tricking them at the same time. Like we're in the airport, and I'm like, hey, man, let's just work on networking right now. Take this our PSA book, meet someone in this airport, introduce yourself, come back with a card, give the book away for free. Now you have a business card and figure out what you want to do from there with that business card. Like these guys are seeing me be an entrepreneur at the same time as a grad, and I'm black, right? Like as a black leader, I want you to see power in leadership. I want you to know, yo, Coach Munch doesn't just coach me. He does all of these different entities and does all of them at the highest level that he can possibly do them. I'm not gonna just write a book and then just leave it on Amazon. I'm gonna show them, hey, you bring this book to the airport, you meet these people, you can give it to them, you can talk to these people. They're gonna walk in a hotel and see the book sitting in the hotel lobby. That's product placement. I want you to know the same thing when you decide to run your own business. I want you to discuss product placement. I want you to understand, the amount of people that's going to lay eyes on this piece of literature while we sitting here playing basketball this weekend, right? So I'm trying to mimic, from the ground up, how to go about your business when you want to be one of them.
Yeah. The mentorship is very apparent. And so what kind of advice would you give to a young coach that's trying to build something meaningful in their community?
I think the best advice I can give a person is that networking is probably the most important thing in this space. Young coach, human being, what you know is important. Who you know is even more important. And especially if you're not somebody that's like, I got extra funds to throw around and money can open up these doors for me. It's not going to be just the funds to get into these certain rooms and to get to these certain levels. It's going to be who you know. I'm not on this platform today
Yeah.
without connecting and being able to do that and being able to not be scared to come up out your comfort zone. I've met a ton of coaches that young coaches would be afraid to like come up to me.
Hmm.
And I consider myself pretty approachable and a cool person. So the best advice I could, and I tell the guys that came from our program, man, you should be meeting somebody every day. You should be communicating with people via text, call, social media now with that generation. So yeah, networking is power. How many people are in your Rolodex, and how well do you nurture those relationships, especially when you don't need something from someone.
You said Rolodex, and I'm dying because I know what a Rolodex is.
Yeah.
What do the kids know what a
Flip through that
Rolodex
little.
is?
The
Yeah, yeah.
last thing you want to do is lose them contacts.
That's right. Oh man, that's so funny.
Yep.
Getting back to here are the answers.
Yeah,
What's
man.
the main message or takeaway you want them to hold on to?
I want them to just feel confident that wherever you're gonna go in this space,
Hmm.
I try to give you at least 50 different topics to think of, and I want you to have somewhat of an answer before you start walking down that journey. But the biggest takeaway is salute to all the people that's in the space because this is hard. I'm telling the outside world, like, shout out to every organization, every director, every coach. High schools, same thing. There's a lot of synergy amongst the two genres, but it's a hard thing to do. So when you waking up and you going at it at the highest clip, it's not just about how many games you won. This is about people giving up their time and at times of their life for the journey of other people's kids.
Hmm.
So it's a hard thing to do, and this is me saying salute to you. I see you. If you're in the space and you're a coach and you're grinding every day, hat off to you. And then for the people that are not in it every day, I want you to respect the culture more, and I want you to learn. Right? I want you to pick this up and not just make quick, oblivious assumptions about the space, right? Like, here's a lot of information that if you're not being lazy, you can read through this and learn that, hey, there's way more subjects than I assumed that was going on, and they're going on simultaneously. They're not just, hey, you do this for 2 months and then this comes up.
Yeah.
All of this is going on at the same exact time. So when you're in this space, be prepared to be dealing with all of this stuff, and you got to be dealing with it at a high clip.
No, so what's next for you in the PSA Cardinals? Any projects or future goals that connect to what you talk about in the book?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I personally want to be somebody that I allow God to walk his walk on me.
Mm.
So I want to be so prepared and so calm that what comes my way, I can either say yay or nay. I don't rush. I'm not rushing into nothing. I would love to see, and I think it's kind of in the works little by little. The
Hmm.
first book, our PSA, I want to see that be made into a play where different students can perform the play and perform those entries in the book
Hmm.
and mix them with athletes in said school. And I want to see people see these guys that are on these sports teams interact with kids that are in the drama classes and the actors of these schools and mix them in and play out the entries
Yep.
and then just get to that point where you have to make these decisions. It's kind of like watching Law and Order. So I think it would be super dope to see the first book turn into a play.
Yep.
The second one, I want it to be considered the Bible in this space, and I want to have it in major camps, whether it's the MBPA camp, whether it's Pingo's camp. I want every kid to have a copy and their families to be given a copy, and I want it to be the reward as opposed to people giving out medals or T-shirts or whatever they give to these kids at the end of camp for MVPs. I want that book to be the one book that people are like, you got to have this. We're putting this in your hands for your family to disseminate, and reading to be fun.
So it's that time of year. Christmas is upon us. And so trying to get this thing in the hands of the people, where can they find this book and how can they follow what you're doing next?
Yeah, man. I mean, Amazon, they got the rights to the book. If you catch me at a location near you and I'm selling it hand to hand combat, make sure you get it at its cheapest price, which is $20. But Amazon is phenomenal with their delivery. I think, especially with Christmas, man, I would say the first book sold more than 10,000 copies, which is it's big time, right? Through
Yes.
Amazon. So they getting their percentage. So they they're pretty happy to see me come around for round two.
Yes.
So you got two options: you go to Amazon, or you catch me at a maybe at a major event, and I'm at the table. So I encourage everyone to go to Amazon. This book is probably up to 3,000 copies sold so far. We're just gonna push it forward because more important than the numbers is the information that's in it.
Yes.
So there's a ton of times where you, like you said, you'll see me giving them out just because I want them things to be in hands, right? I think the little $5 to $10 profit is not bigger than the information I want to leave behind. That can create different legacies. So yeah, Amazon is the quickest. Finding Coach Munch hand to hand is the cheapest. But somehow, some way, we're gonna get that thing in your hands. Somehow.
Love to hear it. So before I move into, I got some quick hitters. I want to make sure I give a shout out to the sponsor of this program, which is My Jersey Designs. They do digital replica jerseys. You can find them more information on myjerseydesigns.com. Make sure you check that out. Again, it's almost Christmas time, so do your thing out there. Now, for you, before I let you go, here's a few quick ones. Now, I need the first thing that comes to mind. You ready?
Go for it.
All right. One word to describe the current state of grassroots basketball.
Attempting. Fluid attempting.
Okay. All right.
Attempting to get it right.
Attempting to get it right. Okay, that works. Most overrated part of player development.
Shot creation over movement without the ball.
Oh, man. I feel like I want you to expound on that.
People spend so much time working on their shot creation, step backs, one dribble this, one dribble that, and then when you watch college basketball, you pretty much don't have time to really do too much of it. It's probably one or two people per team that's able to do it.
Yes.
Versus you got to move without the ball.
Yes. Yeah. No, I like it. I'm glad you said that because, I mean, though I'm not coaching currently, these are things that we always taught, and I'm glad that somebody at your level thinks and understands the same way. All right. Most underrated skill every player needs to master.
Ability to communicate on and off the court.
Okay. I like it. A book every young coach should read other than this one.
Our PSA by Terrance Munch Williams.
Our PSA. You know what? I don't know about young coaches, but I know some young players at Central Dauphin High School. They all got a copy, and they got a chance to read that. So appreciate you for that one.
I'll give you a bonus.
Yes.
The Art of Influence.
Okay. The Art of Influence.
By Chris Wilder, something like that. But
yeah.
The Art of Influence. The Art of the Influence. Yeah.
I like it. I like it. And then the best piece of advice you've ever received.
Oh, that's easy. Never try to play God. Respect the journey.
Respect the journey.
And everything that come with it, baby.
I love it. I love it. I've been talking about the journey for a long time, and I'm glad that I'm not just making it up in my head. People think I'm crazy sometimes, but that's what this is all about. Like, this whole thing is about the journey. It's about everything that takes place from start to finish. And basketball is a piece of it, but it's not all of it.
Man, I think one of the things we lucky every day that we wake up is that we're able to stay in the journey. So respect it, love it, take the good and the bad with it. Keep on putting one foot in front of the other.
That's right.
If you got the legs to move.
There you go. There
you
you
go.
go.
That's it.
I appreciate you, not just for what you do in basketball, but for how you do it. Here the answers isn't just about basketball. It's about clarity, integrity, and leadership. You've created something that every parent, every coach, every player can learn from. For everybody listening, go get the book. Follow the PSA Cardinals. Keep the conversation going, because at the end of the day, youth basketball isn't just about chasing offers or rankings. It's about building character, building discipline, and building people. Munch, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Thank you.
My guy, entry 51.
All right. You guys have a great day. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to whatever platform you're getting this podcast. And feel free to follow us on our various social media platforms.